we will send you links about that. So after this first very short introduction about IEA and the task, I would like to say very general words about fly ash from waste to energy, a bit about status and perspective. So I will mostly say a few words about the situation in Europe to kind of illustrate the situation. And it's because apart from Japan, it is where you could say the topic is most advanced. So about first the status. So what we can say is that there is no, contrary to many other waste-related topics, there is no common framework around fly ash and ash in general concerning the classification, handling, disposal, possible use, and valorization in Europe. So it makes this a bit more complicated even for technology development. We can also say about ash as a material that because of their composition and their properties, the fly ash are usually considered as hazardous waste. So they are not normal waste. And this, of course, impacts both their possible disposal or eventual further treatments. In Europe, again, most fly ashes are currently being landfilled in special dedicated sites. Just two examples, you have the salt mines in Germany and you have the Longyearbyen Island in Norway. And it is done mostly to prevent leaching to the environment. And in this situation, Japan is, of course, an exception, but we will hear more about it very soon. And I would like to add also, and this is mostly relevant for Europe, is that a significant portion of the fly ashes are actually transported across borders. And I think this is a very interesting aspect that can also play a role in their future, what can happen. So now, after these very broad words that not cover all cases, but I think that are still very important to cover, a bit about the perspectives. So what might happen in the near future? So the big thing now happening, of course, is the transition, the unfolding of circular economy. And at the same time, in parallel, we see for waste challenges always ever more stringent regulations that are calling for more valorization and less landfilling in general, not only of fly ash, but also of fly ash. And I think that, of course, the unfolding of circular economy with changings in, for example, consumer habits, in what people are throwing, in plastic packaging being replaced by paper packaging, for example, it will impact the composition of the waste, and then of the composition of the waste being combusted, and then of both quantities and properties of fly ash. So I think this is also something important to take into consideration when thinking about future treatments. But still, I think now and in the future, fly ash are promising candidates for material recovery of metals, because they are rich in a variety of elements, metals, minerals, and salts. So, and this includes also strategically critical metals and elements. So what is happening on the valorization front? First, I would like to say that valorization of fly ash is not an easy task. There are many challenges, many technical challenges, but also non-technical challenges, and we will hear a lot about it today. So I will not say more. I will just say that there are an array of innovative solutions, both commercial and under development, that offer recovery and reuse, and we are going to hear from several of these solutions today. So without further ado, I want to mention the presenters that will talk about us. We have no less than 7 companies who have accepted to present their technologies. So I would like to thank them very warmly, and also a national institute that will present you can say, the unique case of Japan and fly ashes. Yes.
Skarma.
Now I think somebody needs to switch off a microphone. Okay. So here you see the name of the presenters and the companies and the technologies. Thank you to everybody. So the agenda, you received it today. It's just to show that it's pretty packed. So it's very important that you respect the time schedule. The first presenter has 20 minutes to present, plus 5 minutes for questions. All the others are 15 minutes plus 5 minutes for questions. So please remember, you have 15 minutes and then we need to allow some time for questions. And we should be finished by around 3:30. I will not use too much time on the wrap-up. And we have 2 breaks. Okay, so before we start, I would just love to add a couple of rules and etiquette for the webinar. So microphone and camera is only for the person presenting. So Inge, the host, and me, the co-host, we will manage that to allow the presenters to share their screen. The presenter will share their screen and control their presentation. All other people will not have microphone and camera. So how to ask questions? Please ask the questions in the chat during the presentation, but we will not interrupt the presenters. Inge and myself, we will moderate this by selecting the 2-3 questions we have time to ask and then ask them to the presenter. And then I think we can have a nice day today. So that was it for me and the introduction. If you have one word to add, Inge, I think now is the time before we start with the presentation, and the first one about fly ashes in Japan by Hirofumi Sakanakura. So I will not stop sharing.
No, I think you have covered most of it. We will see how many questions that will roll in, and there might be a possibility that we'll have some questions and answers in written published on the homepage afterwards, but we will see how much resources we can put on that. But otherwise, I think you should invite the first speaker, Michael.
Yeah, I think